Do. We are back. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of UTX Unplugged. I almost said Swap Talk.
That's right. We're back.
We're back.
How was everybody?
My goodness, we got people already. We got Alonzo, Doug, and Broke Dad Builds coming in early. What is up, you guys? I'm gonna rely on you guys for a mic check, like always. Dale is here. Dale is joining us. Okay, so while we've got some people filtering in here, let's go ahead and start talking, I guess.
Okay.
Very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So funny story. A week ago, we started talking about today's podcast and what the topic should be. And we settled on nightmare jobs, jobs that maybe you wish you hadn't taken on.
Right.
Things that turned into a bigger deal than what you anticipated.
Sure. Things you weren't expecting to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's everybody's been there. Everybody's gone through it. There's always a lesson to learn out of it. So that is how we came up with the title, Take This Job and Shove It. And speaking of being rear-ended, do you have a story for us?
Yes, I do. I was in a rear end accident just within a few hours ago.
Yeah, like an hour ago.
Yeah. I broke my 55-year of streak of never being in any kind of a car accident. And I just got rear-ended in Emily's 1970 C10.
Yeah.
The yellow truck that we show a bunch of. So
yeah.
So I'm out of sorts a little bit. Even being rear-ended in a pickup, it was a kind of I don't know. It was a strange thing.
Both of the dogs with you.
Yeah, both the dogs were with me.
The dogs bounced off the dash.
Yeah, it was much more violent than I would have ever expected. Just a rear end being hit in the back. I pulled out into traffic, trying to take a look at what traffic was coming on, getting off the interstate, and got rear-ended by a Toyota something, and it was an experience, I guess. And what was great about it, I guess, I got out of the truck. I pulled off to the side, got out of the truck. The dogs were okay. And,
yes, before anybody asked, they're okay.
The first thing I walked back and I looked at the back end of Emily's 1970, and it had a piece of trim that like got knocked off of the tailgate. And that's pretty much all that happened to it. And the other car, the Toyota that got me, it had thousands of dollars worth of damage on it. The whole grill was crunched up into the top of the hood. It was a mess. So
the Toyota didn't fare so well against the 1970 Chevy Steel. So
I'd never had that happen before. I'd got back here a little bit ago and said, she was like, "Well, you want to cancel this thing or whatever?" It was like, no, just go ahead and do it. It's like, whatever. Jeff, he's glad the dogs are okay.
Yeah,
it's great.
So that's today's nightmare. And you were on your way to get parts for a BMW, which is a whole different nightmare.
Yeah, today I was working on a BMW X5 today for some reason. It was by mistake. I thought it was for somebody. I actually thought it was for one of Jeff's workers. His name was Roy, and it came across on my phone as Roy. So I thought it was for Roy, and so I said, "Yeah, I'll fix that for you." And I was working on a misfire on a BMW X5, so it was
So it was,
yeah,
yeah, it was already not a good time, and then
yeah,
5 o'clock traffic and people not paying attention. So.
right. So
Everybody's okay. That's good.
mhm.
But
We'll get back on topic now.
yeah, we'll get back into to what we set out, the nightmare that we set out to talk about. So we've all been there. We've all torn into something and found more damage than what we anticipated, or it was a bigger job than the guy on YouTube made it seem like. We've all fallen victim to that. So, what are some of the biggest things that you can remember over the years? Because we have worked on, you have a ton of automotive experience. We've talked about it a million times, but here at Ugly Truck, we worked on absolutely everything. BMWs, a lot of Mercedes, a lot of Audis, and then all the way down to whatever.
Yeah. Well, like this topic, I'm mostly curious about what people got into on the jobs that they were doing. And they, like, if it was a LS swap or whatever they were doing, and what it was that was the thing that they started doing that they were like, oh no, I should have never got into this thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I'm curious about. It's like, I love most aspects of them, but like there were jobs that I did over the years that I got into them, like working on diesels, like what Power Stroke diesels, doing injectors on Power Strokes and things like that. But I'd start jobs and I just, was like, well, I probably shouldn't have taken that job on, but I learned something from it. But I kind of wish I hadn't done it.
Sometimes there's always a lesson from it, and sometimes the lesson is next time you say no. Yeah. Sometimes that's the takeaway of it. But yeah, that was one that I remembered as a 6.0 Power Stroke. The injectors, that is a big job.
Right. Yeah, that's a nightmare because you do injectors on one of those, and when you pull the injectors out, if one of the cups comes out with them, then you got to end up sealing the cups that hold. They're basically just glued into the cylinder head. That's kind of a pain, but yeah, it sucked. But somebody asked if we're going to do a 4x4 swap. Dale's asking that.
Yes.
Jeff, the neighbor down here, he's got a 87 Blazer that we'll have up here pretty soon. Right now we're working on a 86 C10. Jeff from Mississippi. I'm trying to get it up to video status where we can do some videos on it, and it's going to have a bunch of wiring that we haven't done before, and putting things in different spots. Like I'm hiding the computer and a lot of the ECM, the BCM, the other things that we need underneath the seat and things like that to clean up the engine compartment. So we're going to do that. I've been excited about doing that one forever. It should have been done like a year ago, but I got into fixing some rust on it. So we're going to have that one going pretty soon. We'll be doing videos on that, and then but yeah, Jeff's is a 4x4 because we really need to address the whole 4x4 air conditioning bracket thing.
Yeah,
the cross members are different in a 4x4, so we want to do that and have some fun with a 4-wheel drive, I guess.
Yeah,
because it's been a long time for us since the last 4-wheel drive that we did was our own 74 K10. So
yeah, and that's something that we've had a ton of questions about when it comes to the VSS. Also, that's usually a question on 4x4 swap. So we'll get neighbor Jeff's in here and answer just a ton of questions. Real quick here, I gotta give a shout out. Your PCMD sent us $20. Says I've got an 86 and a 91 S10 short wheelbase. Want to make drag and drive. Very cool. Thoughts on a 5.3 or 6.0 and transmission. Want it naturally aspirated. Thanks for what you guys do. Love the content. Thank you so much. I mean, a 6-liter fits in the same spot. A 5.3 does, so might as well.
Yeah.
The 6 liters are hard to find, so you can always take the route that we did with my 70. We found a smoking deal on a 4.8 dropout, got the swap done with that, and then found a 5.3 and replaced the engine. But once the swap is complete, it's easy to upgrade. But
yeah, it's all done. I think we've mentioned that a few times. It's like you could take 4.8 out, put a 6-liter in the same spot, send the computer off, have it reprogrammed, and then everything would work perfectly. Everything be done for you already.
Yeah.
But just if you can go with the 6-liter, just go with the 6-liter. That'd be great.
Yeah, especially if you're saying make it a drag and drive kind of thing. Go big or go home, man. But thank you. We certainly appreciate your super thanks there.
Yes, thank you. That's nice. Yeah, that's right.
And on another positive note, Terrell is with us tonight. His truck, Grandpa, I believe he got tags on it this week and drove it to work for the first time, which is super exciting. And he's excited for a car meet coming up on Saturday. So that's great. I love seeing him get done and hitting the road.
Yeah. Plus, he drove it to work or something like that, you said today.
Yeah, I think he said he did like 80 miles round trip.
Yeah.
And it was all smiles the whole time. So that's awesome. That's what we want to hear.
What's ask him what somebody's nightmare was instead of just asking me. I'd like to hear about it.
Yeah, I know all your nightmares. Yeah. We hear from a lot of you guys in the comments that say, I've bit off more than I could chew here, or things have taken a turn. Sometimes you plug it in and it doesn't work, and then you got to figure out why. And we hear from a lot of those questions. So if you guys have some stories here, we'd love to hear them. But there's like you said, there's a lesson in all of it. You walk away with a skill that you didn't have before. There's a lot of times that ingenuity comes in, and that we've talked about that in a million videos. That little ingenuity goes a long way, especially when it comes to LS swaps. Alan's having trouble finding the like button. It should be like right underneath us here somewhere.
Unless you're watching on TV.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's true. I have noticed a lot of you guys are watching our stuff on TV, which is super cool. That's what we watch for TV a lot of times is YouTube. But that does kind of pose a problem with the live chat. So, yeah. Let me see here. Terrell says his swap has been a learning curve, but it was still awesome. Yes, and Terrell has done a ton of awesome stuff with his truck, and definitely, I'm sure, has gained some skills from taking it on. Sometimes the lesson you learn, especially when you're in business, if you're an owner operator, sometimes you're at the mercy of who's supplying the parts, who's doing the machine work. There's a lot of factors that you're the middleman on, and that has bit us a few times. Without naming the transmission company, we replaced a transmission on like a 95 Ford pickup, and I mean it took months, and we could do nothing but say sorry, I called them,
Right.
you know, and that.
Right. I know which one you're talking about. We did a transmission in a 90s something Ford pickup, and I had no avenue to go and get one just around here local. Nobody would rebuild one. Can't blame them. I didn't know a lot about them to feel comfortable rebuilding it, so we went with like a big name out there out in on the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
And paid them for it. 6 months later, still didn't have a transmission. Had to hassle them. Finally got it, and then put it in. Nothing but troubles. It took us another 2 months or whatever to get like a core back because they said they had to
Inspect the core.
yeah, the core had to be inspected to see if it was like a good transmission to rebuild. I'm like, no, that's not how cores are supposed to work. You're supposed to just send a core back, and there you go. And
it's a core for a reason.
yeah, but it shouldn't take a few months and 20 phone calls to get it all done or whatever. But that was a nightmare, and I learned a huge lesson on that. I wouldn't do that again. I either wouldn't have done the job or would have absolutely just outsourced it here somehow. Looked harder to find somebody local that I could have dealt with.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but that was a big. When we started the shop, that was a big idea that we had that we went with was self-sufficiency. You know, the first thing we bought was the blue lift that you guys see in the videos and your tubing bender, because you worked as an exhaust guy for so many years. There was no way you were going to take something and drop it off at an exhaust shop.
Yeah.
So we did that. We got a brake lathe. We got several other tire machines, you know, tire balancer, just to make sure that we were in control and we knew the work that was going out the door and weren't relying on somebody else to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was
I see Hugh going by.
Yeah, Hugh's
Hugh, did you get your engine going? I haven't been able to follow up on that, but I was curious about whether or not you got that one going.
He said worked it all the way to find out that my ECU is a paperweight. So
oh no.
Hopefully you got a different ECU though.
Yeah. What is it? What were you using?
I think he's got HP tuners. I believe so.
Yeah, but what's his computer? What year?
I believe he put a Gen 3 crank in a Gen 4.
Oh, that's right.
Block, I believe so.
Yeah, that would be a tough one. Huh.
But yeah, hopefully it's ironed out. He's got a plan at least. But so, what else we got?
What do we have? Oh, you tell me. You have it all written down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm out of the loop a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You got hit by a Toyota earlier, so.
Oh, it's a Gen 4 with an E38. Huh. We just recently, we said we bought a HP tuners, and we've got a donor out here that we've been messing around with the HP tuner. And then this weekend we went and got it. We pulled it around here, and I had cut the body control module out of it, and so I knew it wouldn't start. So we plugged the HP tuner into it and started messing around with its programming. We deleted the VATs in it, and what else? Oh, the DOD. It's got DOD. It's a 2007, which was interesting for us to do that. We had never done that on a Gen 4 one yet, I don't think. And then we got that thing just by messing around with the tune, we got it to start. So and it starts and runs fine, but that's without the VATs.
Mm-hmm.
because I
Yeah.
pulled the ignition out of it and everything. And so it was pretty interesting to do that, but it was a lot more involved than doing it with on the Gen 3 stuff for sure.
Yeah. I think Gen 3,
So,
it's like, it's one little thing you disable and it's done.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a couple things.
Because we did what we thought you would have to do to delete it, and then we turned around and it wouldn't start. So then we tried it again. There was something with the starter. There was
Yeah.
some kind of starter thing that we had to disable.
It was like
And,
starter diag or
yeah.
something. It runs some
Yeah.
test.
Yeah, so then it fired up. So Gen 4, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Looked up garage. We spent 4.5 hours chasing wires.
And testing and had no spark. I have RPM signal finally. Yay.
Yeah.
So
They are difficult. I'll give you that much. That's the other stuff that we've wired up on the channel here, the videos that we've done on the Gen 4 stuff. Definitely a lot more involved than doing a Gen 3. So
yeah, we've shown you
Gen
that.
4. And the Gen 4 that we have, and the one that I'm talking about, what I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna make sure everything works perfectly fine on it before I actually take everything out. So then when I'm doing it, I know that I don't. If I have any kind of issues once I get the swap done, then I know it's something that I did. So then I can narrow that down a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, we've talked about that. The beauty of having a donor.
Yeah. So
Terrell's talking about he's found a 2004 Escalade that he can get cheap. Transmission is shot, but we know he can fix that. He said he's thinking Monte Carlo SS or a Cutlass or Square Suburban. Any of those sounds pretty sweet. I would have to go Monte Carlo.
Oh, I'd go with the Cutlass.
Really?
Yeah, Cutlass.
Oh, I like the Montes.
No.
Depends on what year. What year are we talking?
Yeah. Oh, but he also says a Square Suburban. We got a line on maybe we'll have a Will It Run coming up pretty soon. We got a phone call today about a truck that I've been trying to buy for 15, 16 years.
Oh, longer than that. Yeah. Every time we go to the grocery store, you can see it kind of off in the distance. And we just Google at it.
Yeah.
Wonder what it's doing.
When my daughter was really young, she'd ask me like if a birthday or Christmas was coming around, and she would say, "What do you want for your birthday or Christmas?" And we'd be going to the grocery store, and it was right past the grocery store, and I'd say that pickup, you know. And then when she got old enough, she was like going, "Someday I'm going to buy you that truck." But we got a phone call on it today because 15 years ago, I said, "Hey man, I'm interested in buying that truck if it ever comes up for sale." And somehow or another, they remembered that. So we'll see. I got to go see it. But a truck that's been sitting for a long time before that. I don't even know what year it is. It's square body, but that's all I know about it.
It'd be pre 78, 79.
Yeah.
It's got round headlights.
Yeah, but it'd be great to go pick that thing up and get it running. Be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody loves a Will It Run. Terrell says 85 Cutlass or 85 Monte. I would go 85 Monte. Me personally. I'm with Terrell on this. Yeah, I'm with Terrell on this. He said his brother likes the Cutlass.
Versus what Cutlass?
85.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All 85s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Corey Jenkins says he is working on an 82 El Camino. Go G bodies. We hear from a lot of you guys with the G bodies. Hughes loving the 85 to 87 G body period there. Let me see here. C10 Problem Child has a good question here. He put a 4L80 trans in his 85 C10. Should anything be done going from, with the gear shift, going from a 3-speed to a 4-speed.
Oh, let's see.
We've talked about that here and there, but not really addressed it in a video.
3-speed to a 4-speed.
He's asking about like the swing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you want to make everything line up, you just have to change the distance of the pivot point from the steering arm, where at the end of the steering column, where it swings to make it go.
The piece that goes.
Yeah. So if you want that thing to be kind of perfect, that's all you do is change the length of that, and then it's going to line up with first gear when you get down to the bottom. But you're, like on that truck, doesn't have an indicator for overdrive. So, but that's, if I have an issue with how far it swings or whatever, that's how I fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Change the swing of the linkage, basically.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
I think so. That is something that we hear from people once in a while about. Hey, my shifter, the node indicator doesn't read correctly anymore, and I don't know.
Yeah, but you can buy the different little indicator portion that goes in there that'll show the fourth gear, the overdrive, then 3, 2, 1, and then you can change that if you want to. The steering columns, I'm not sure which ones, what years they actually have a little D10 in them also that the arm drops down into.
Slides into.
But the shifter thing, the transmission stops that from happening. So for that little detent that's in the steering column, I never really pay attention to that. But it's just all whether or not you make that arm line up for how much it's swinging, basically. And it's just done by how long the arm is.
Yeah. My advice is always just don't look at it.
Yeah, her pickup only goes into drive. I made shift that one out. It's cable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hers has got I took the cable off the donor, and I just took and just made it go through reverse, neutral, and drive. By doing that, I welded a bracket onto the side of it and put a little arm on it, and that's all it does, because we knew that was all we'd ever need for it. So, but if I'd wanted it to move more, then I could have changed the length of that little arm or twist.
Oh, yeah. I just need forward and reverse.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Rick is here. Hello, Rick.
Any advice to newbies? Newbies on what?
Broke Dad Builds. He says, any advice on a guy trying to get into the YouTube space? I kicked off my channel, but no clue what I'm doing. Just do what you want. That's probably the biggest advice, is make it enjoyable for you. If it's something that you're looking to do as like a career path, it's like, do what you enjoy, and I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go with it. So I'm not sure exactly what advice to give you, but as far as like a YouTube side, the algorithm favors consistency. If you post on a regular basis, I don't know if you're doing like LS swap content or what.
You want my advice?
What's your advice?
I'm seriously going to give you. I'll give my advice. Okay, if you're going to do it, try to figure out a way to make it fun.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah, that's
the only way to do it. In my opinion, we said on our last one, I think, I don't know how many times we've talked about not doing anymore. Find a way to make it fun, because I felt a little bad when we were talking about that one when I watched it back, and I kind of made it a downer. I shouldn't have, because I didn't say that we have a lot of fun doing the videos.
Yeah.
Because I think I said that it kind of stinks going out there and doing the videos because it's labor intensive and that. But I mean, really, but when we're doing them, we have, it's the one time, the say, like if we managed to do one a week or one every couple of weeks, that's the 1 or 2 days out of the week that we just are having a great time laughing and BSing. And
Yeah.
so if a person wants to do it, make sure you figure out how to have fun doing it. And then when it's not fun anymore,
go a different direction with it.
Yeah.
Try something new. We you know, like you said, we have so much fun doing it, and I think it comes across in the videos. You know, like when we're laughing and joking around, that's real. You know, that's really us talking. And I mean, you can't fake that. I guess is where I'm going with it. You can't fake, you know, this is fun, this is enjoyable, you should do it too. You know, if that's what you're going for with your channel, like you either need to be having a good time or, you know, figure out how to, because nobody wants to watch, you know, like, oh, this is like, this guy's not having a good time. Like, I don't want to watch you. I don't want to walk out in the shop and watch you struggle to do something, you know? And so I don't want to make a video out of it. The throwback to the Oscar videos. A lot of those were not a good time, but we, you know, in the long run, we love Oscar. I don't think Oscar likes us, but
no,
we had fun.
No. Yeah, we have fun with the things that we have around here, and we have a great time with the LS swaps that we do for people. And we try to that's probably we try to make an LS swap look fun.
Yeah,
I guess that's the whole thing with what I was when we were talking about this topic tonight.
Yes,
is like, how do you try and talk to somebody and tell them doing countless hours of work is going to be a lot of fun? And then, you know,
look how dirty your hands are. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
I want to hear from somebody, which we never do, about somebody that gets to the point with their, let's say it's a 1980 pickup, and then they get to that point and they go and they drive it into the garage, and then they get a cherry picker and they pull the engine out. And then the next morning they have to just be like going, oh my gosh, what did I do? That's what I would love to hear from people, because you've just, by doing that, it's no different than when I jump into a giant job that I've never done before or whatever. All of a sudden I'll just be like, did I get myself in over my head? You know,
was this the good idea? I thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like earlier, I said that today I was working on a BMW X5, an 8-cylinder turbocharged motor, doing basic stuff to it. I had misfire, and but I ended up having to run to O'Reilly's and get a socket that I didn't have.
Yeah.
It was a special socket just to
do spark plugs.
Just do spark plugs in it. And then, because then I'm always like running around going, oh, I got every tool I need, you know, and I'm lucky that I have a good set of tools. And it's like, all of a sudden I got into this thing, and it's like, oh, the socket that I'm going to go buy is going to eat up my whole profit margin.
Yeah, really. Oh no.
But you know, I learned from that. It's like, but I've done the same thing with LS swaps. The first one that we got into is like, I dug into our first one, not really being all that concerned about the wiring of it and stuff, and how I was going to do that when I got down to that point. But And that was a problem. Since then, I redid that 3 times, really, or I'm going to redo it the 3rd time.
On wiring.
The wiring, because
Yeah.
the first time was just like a learning experience for me. So
Yeah, all of it.
People,
you know.
people that are doing it out there, it's interesting. Or
Yeah, we're
yeah.
we're lucky in a lot of ways with the LS swaps because we've seen and or have had the opportunity to see so many different iterations of the LS configuration, you know.
Yeah.
So we're vaguely familiar with most of them, but there's real quick here. Terrell sent us $5. Thank you, Terrell. Both of you are a huge driving force behind doing these LS swaps, and it's definitely a privilege to be a part of this community. We are so glad to have you, and thank you for your support. See here, Fernando is checking in from California. I intended to have a bracket sitting here tonight to hold it up and show you, but your bracket got painted this afternoon, and I'm going to box it up first thing in the morning, and it will be on its way to you and your radiator cups and your accelerator pedal plate.
Is that the one I dropped?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah. No, it's probably not.
Is it? No, it was in the back of the truck when he got rear-ended.
Yeah. So he got one.
Yeah, he got the. We also have. We mentioned it, but I don't think I made like an official announcement. We have, of course, our radiator mounts for the LS style radiators available on our merch store, but we also have the accelerator pedal adapter plates. Those are available up there now also, and I just set up the air conditioning brackets on the merch store. So if you guys are interested in those, there's a link in the description to our merch store, and go see all the cool stuff we got. Ooh, speaking of, we got new shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Can you show the back of yours? I didn't plan this very well. Kind of. Maybe. Sort of. Ask me about my LS swap. There you go. Hurt yourself. So we got new shirts. I also got front adhesive stickers. We've had a few people ask for those. If you were one of those people, send me a message and I'll make sure you get one. But yes, thank you for being here, Fernando. Let me see here.
Why didn't Kenny write like the standalone harness? I'm curious about that one. If he responds back.
This one here?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Kind of.
Oh, I just asked what it was about the standalone on the 84 Jeep Scrambler that he didn't like.
Yeah. I see a lot of people raving about them, certain ones, and then I see a lot of people buying cheap ones and getting into a big mess. Exactly like what we're talking about.
I think that's our next video that I got planned going on is going to be some wiring harness stuff. So that's kind of why I was curious about that one there. I'm gearing up for that. The 86 that I'm doing, I'm working on. I'm trying to get it up to wiring harness status to where that's where I can start in with some wiring on it. So bring you some more videos on that. And otherwise, what we've been doing around here is just everything that we've done in the past lately. So but I'm working on that.
Yeah, we've been teasing all the cool wiring coming up.
Yeah.
Doug says you've seen my 72 C10 in the garage and putting that QA1 stuff on. That's exactly what I said when the only thing left was the frame. LOL. Yeah, he has really torn into a project, but I think it's going to be pretty sweet when he gets done with it. A lot of cool stuff going on in Swap Talk this week. Let me see here. What else we got?
That's thinking of one thing that I did that I should rethink when I did it, I was doing it for somebody else. We've got a 65 F100, right? That the guy wanted it turned into a 4x4. So
Yes.
he brought it to us, and I ripped the front end out from underneath it. It was, the whatever suspension they had. It was,
Torsion bar.
no,
whatever.
twin I-beam.
Yeah.
And I ripped that out of it, and I had a 4x4 frame and everything, switching that around, and then he kind of lost interest in it, and I ended up just we bought the pickup from him. So we've got a 65 F100 out there that we have, and it runs and drives. You just can't steer it because there's no steering gear on it. So
there should be a video. We should just make a video of us moving that truck, because we've had to move it several times. And it's a 3-speed, which is kind of handy.
She drives it, and I kick the tires to whatever direction she wants to go.
Get it go in the right direction.
But now that we own it, I think we would like to. We have enough frames out here from other swaps that we could just put do a body swap on it, or a frame swap on it.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it? Is that right? Frame swap?
Like a chassis swap, I guess.
Yeah.
Body swap.
So
it depends on which one you're looking at.
You're saying that's just my recipe. 7.4 Plymouth. That's off the old heads.
That's off the old heads on. Yes. We've talked about Bad Tree. If you're just listening and you're not watching the screen, Bad Tree's talking about, so you're saying we should swap his 72 4-door Plymouth Valiant. Yes, we have a 73 Dart that we've considered. Just watching the heads roll.
It's really nice. I consider selling it all the time too.
Yeah. It's another, we have too many.
If I end up buying this other square body, then we're probably going to have a 74 Dart up for sale here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because our list of projects is going way past what I could accomplish and still keep everybody else happy. So
yeah.
I got a 4. That would be a problem for a 2-wheel drive. Nope. Corey, the 4-wheel drive wiring harness and a 2-wheel drive wiring harness is the exact same harness.
Yeah.
There's no difference in them at all. If you're talking about a Gen 3 and probably a Gen 4 too. Because all the 4-wheel drive parts had its own wiring harness that split off from the left side by the fuel, where the fuel lines bust off and bust over to the transfer case and everything. That's and that's a great thing to. That's this next video. I think I've got a whole bunch of wiring harness stuff going on in my head, and I want to help people out with that one, or give them some ideas with that. I'm gonna put the ECM on this pickup underneath the seat, just to make some room, clean it up underneath the hood a little bit. And I'm going to use 2 wiring harnesses to do it. I'm going to use 2004, which would be the one that'll run the engine and the drive-by-wire pedal. But I'm going to use a 2002 and kind of graph the 2 of them together to give me my length that I need. Plus the 2002 one has a 480 transmission is what we're going to put in this pickup. So
yes.
So I have 2 wiring harnesses that I can do pretty much everything that I want to with them. And all those wiring harnesses, I bought them for less than $300. So I'm going to try to get people to quit buying these standalone harnesses, because all they're doing is creating a problem for themselves, really. And I'm gonna kind of focus on that one in this next video.
Yeah. So many times you've had to go in, somebody brings something here that's got a standalone harness. Now they want their AC to work, or now they want their cruise control to work. And you're now running all of those wires.
Yeah, adding all the other wires that aren't included in a standalone harness. But I guess that's what a standalone harness means. They're not misleading you at all. They're telling you it's like, this is a standalone harness. It's going to make your engine and your transmission work, but it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't do all the other fun stuff that people really enjoy and think is cool. It's like, so
Yeah.
we should make a little note. Don't shy away from a 4x4 because that's what most of our donors have been, and it's the exact same wiring harness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a question that we've got a lot, and you touched on it a little bit. We also have had a lot of questions about a 4L60 versus a 4L80, or somebody who wants to add a 4L80 later. The differences in that. So Jeff Shark will be another great opportunity to talk about that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
C.R. Smith says, "Hey everyone, how do you feel about stroking an LS? I mean, like just petting it, just scratch it behind its little ears." I don't know. I've seen a lot of really cool stuff. Kind of engine masters, kind of people playing mad scientists on the inside of the engine, but it's not something that we have a lot of experience with. But
yeah, and you're gonna have to be in with a tuner,
Yeah,
tuner would have to take care of that because it's something out of the realm. But what would he turn it into as a stroker motor?
Yeah, like
that's a good question.
What do you have in mind, I guess?
Yeah, I don't have a tuner any longer.
Whoops.
Yeah, this last truck that we did, I asked him to change something for me, and quite honestly, it was my fault. I didn't explain myself very well, and why I wanted something changed back, and I think I insulted them accidentally. And
yeah, definitely not intentionally.
No, I absolutely did not. I know that they did an excellent job, and they did they did absolutely everything I wanted them to do. But when I was thinking about it, and I needed them to change something back for me, I didn't put two and two together before I talked to them. Sometimes I ought to think before I talk, and I didn't in this case, and I probably implied that they had done something wrong, which they absolutely did not. And they told me that they do not want to deal with me anymore. So
take our business elsewhere.
Yeah. So I lost my opportunity to have somebody do tuning for me on anything that's not a stock thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. I wish that hadn't happened, but it did. And I did my best to apologize. I always know when I do something wrong. I just didn't think that one out very well, I guess. So
yeah.
Oh well. But when I see people wanting to do crazy stuff like that, that's all I think about is like, if you want to build a stroker motor, you're building something that you got to be a pretty good tuner on.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people that chime in here, they're pretty comfortable with it too.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever.
Yeah, Terrell says now you can be your own tuner.
Yeah, I guess.
Like we said, we've been dabbling.
Yeah. We'll mess around with our own stuff, but that's what I told like these people know that I would never tune somebody else's. I would never tell somebody that I was.
Yeah, no, we went to them because
I would never.
They know their stuff. They're very good at what they do, and absolutely still feel that way. But
yeah, so
whatever. Dale says, "What other than VATs do I have to do to start my stock 2004 4.8?" First of all, long live the 4.8s. Love the 4.8s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that should be it on a Gen 3.
Yeah.
You got to like plug stuff in,
Right.
That like set up a fuel pump and.
Yeah, if you're gonna have if you're gonna start a 2004, really, if you keep everything stock and that's all you would have to do is just get rid of the VATs in it, and there are ways to trick that too. People have been mentioning that a lot lately too. That's kind of interesting. But like we used to send them out to have VATs done. We do them ourselves now. We can shut them off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you'll save yourself a bunch of money if you can like plan your project out a little bit and tell them exactly everything you need to know about if you're going to have what you're going to do with your air conditioning, so they can make your fans do what you want, where you live, and what temperature thermostat you're going to run in it, so they can adjust for that with electric cooling fans. Tell them your wheel size, your differential gears, your final drive.
Yes. And if you think you're going to change your wheels and tires, you know, by the time you finish a project, or if that's on your list, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
As you go through.
Which doesn't matter. Which doesn't matter if you're going to do like a Dakota Digital or something like that. But if you need to, if you're doing some setup where you want your speedometer drive to be accurate, and you don't have a Dakota Digital, and you're working with something else, you'd want to make sure they have all that information to do that. So,
yep. He said he's got HP tuners, so sounds like he's doing it himself.
Oh, yeah.
Should be pretty straightforward. Let me see. Real quick here. American Proud US says that they became a member. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yes. All kinds of fun stuff going on tonight. Thank you for your support. And I'd like to say thank you to you guys that have used our Amazon links, or the links for parts in the descriptions of the videos. Any purchase that you make through that link, whether it's that exact item or not, we get a small kickback, and that does help support the channel. I think I mentioned that a while back on Facebook, but you guys have been doing it, and we greatly appreciate it. Dan says he got his mug. Awesome. Hope you're enjoying it.
Did I see Brian go through here? Brian Long?
Yeah, Brian was here earlier.
Brian, let us know if you're here again, okay? I wanted to ask that guy. He said something about making a brick. If you tune one do not lost power on HP tuners, it will make a brick.
Yes, that's a big deal. When you are using HP tuners, and again, I'm not an expert. Hold on, we'll revisit that in a second. I'm not an expert with HP tuners by any means, but that's like basic, like 101. Like, don't screw it up. Is like, make sure everything has power, and that's one thing we have been that we have been doing, is making sure we have a battery charger on the vehicle and the computer's plugged in that we're using. I have seen several people with those horror stories, and that stinks.
Oh, I understand. Do not lose power.
Yeah, like if you're like when you hit right calibration or right entire, it's if you lose power in the middle of it, because the first thing it goes through is deleting everything. So you wipe it, and then you're only halfway done with it, and
okay, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. I've seen several of those horror stories lately. And that is Jeannie. Thank you, Jeannie, for becoming a member. Let me see here. Mitch Woodworth says, I bought a HP tuner to do the basics, wheel and tire size and gear ratio, running the stock 90 cluster. Awesome. I really like the stock gauges in my 70. That's one thing that the Dakota Digitals are so nice, but it's like I feel like it would look out of place in the 70. It wouldn't quite be a little too shiny, maybe. Jeannie, thank you guys. You guys could just come on up the hill and enjoy the live show, the real live show. Thank you. Let me see. Dale said he made a bench harness and plug into the wall. I know a lot of people that do it all the time. That's kind of the route that they take.
That's pretty smart. We could definitely do that. It'd be the best thing for us to do. Then you don't have to sit out there. And,
I still don't. I don't like walking away from it.
Right.
It's like I feel like I need to babysit it or something. Let me see.
Custom AC hose.
Custom AC hoses. Yes. Are you talking make them to sell? We do have a video. Big Crimpin' is the name of it. Making some custom hoses and setting up a system on Daryl's blue and white 84.
Yeah. Yeah. That's we talk about that all the time, that I couldn't, like most of them now, the hoses that I made for the AC systems that we do on square bodies have all been very similar. So I could take and just make them, and most likely they would work fine if they used the condenser and the compressor, and the receiver dryer is going to be the same. But
yeah,
so I could do that and just throw them in a box and send them off to somebody. But we see other companies out there that do that, and I don't know how well they work. So I don't know if I would, like if somebody gave me a specific, like I'm doing an 86 right now. And if somebody said, hey, would you do up a set of hoses for an 86 and that, and I'd tell them exactly what I got going on. And then I could just make up 2 of them while I'm doing it and then send them off to them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you could basically just make doubles.
I've thought about doing that because it would be nice, because it's a real nightmare for people, air conditioning stuff. And the only reason it's a nightmare is because they don't have like the crimper tool to make the hoses and figuring out the right fittings and all that stuff. And
the fittings is a big one.
Yeah, maybe we'll try one for somebody. See.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe we'll do another giveaway. We'll just have to do a giveaway for somebody with a specific make and model of a vehicle or whatever,
Yeah.
Stamp UTX. And then she put our AC brackets on the 4th wall this week.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. We got the AC brackets and the other brackets and adapters and stuff. We've got are officially set up on the merch store. So the accelerator pedal plates, those if you guys go check those out, there I believe is a video if you have not seen those. Of course, I think everybody listening right now has knows about our AC brackets by now, but we have had a few questions on exactly what does the adapter plate do. And it just bolts the drive-by-wire pedal into the square body, or other GM too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that I noticed.
Firewall.
Sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
That was it.
I noticed too, somebody just said charging or whatever. Like on that last AC video we did, that one, we had problems with the fan on that one. And that was did we ever say what that was?
Nope, we never did.
Oh, the fans just weren't set up. The fan in the ECM was just set up to come on at off at 0 mile an hour.
It was off and on.
Yeah, off and on at 0 mile an hour. So there's no way we could ever reach 0 mile an hour. So
yeah.
So all we had to do was change that up to 55 mile an hour, and then the fans worked. But when we did that last video, oh man, all we had to do was just get our fans going, and the AC on that red pickup was great. I had to add a total. It had a small tube condenser. All the lines were pretty much the exact same length as what the donors would have been, and then the receiver dryer and and then the accumulator, all pretty much the same setup. And the donor truck took 1.5 pounds of refrigerant, and when we got that truck done, once the fans were running, it took another 0.5 pound, and it was perfect. So 1.5 pounds total in that thing. If you have a large tube condenser, then it's going to take another pound probably. But that's what that one turned out. Somebody asked about it, and I felt I realized that we didn't really say that in that video, so I kind of felt bad about that. It was just because it went haywire at the end of that one.
Yeah, the fans not working. It was a big wrench in things.
Yeah, and I could almost do that too. Like I could send, if I knew what somebody was using for a condenser, the whole system. If I made them some hoses, send them to them, and we could almost tell them, it's like add 1.5 pounds to it, and as long as your fans are running great, or if you have a mechanical fan that pulls air through all the time, everything's going to work out just fine for you. So maybe we'll do that. That'd be an interesting one. It'd be a great experiment if somebody was willing to mess around with us and try doing it.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
It'd be fun. Yeah. Real quick here, Dale sent us $20. Thank you, Dale. We greatly appreciate the support. Good grief, you guys.
Yeah, thank you. It's very nice.
Yes, that'll buy a new trim piece that was ripped off of the 70 earlier.
Yeah.
It actually is not that bad.
Yeah, it just had one little piece blown off the tailgate for trim. So
yeah, the clips were rotted anyway. I'm super careful when I wash it because I don't want to yank it off. So
yeah, these are new people. They weren't here for the beginning of it, but I got rear-ended in her 70 tonight. So it's that's an old hat now. But 6-liter question.
Yes.
Let's see. Pay for a whole assembly.
This is an honest price I should pay for a whole assembly for a 6-liter out of a used vehicle, ECU and serpentine system included. Oh.
Starter and intake and all that. What's he say? The whole assembly. So maybe,
basically the whole.
So a drop out.
Yeah.
So I've had to pay up to $2,300 for them. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting the 6 liters especially are getting up there, but
that was from a salvage yard that I was comfortable just buying one and they'd shipped it off to me. So but now, like we have a donor out back that's got a nice 6-liter in it, and I didn't bat an eye at paying $2,600 for it.
25 on that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a low mileage one, less. I consider low mileage, less than 200,000 miles on it, and it's a LY6.
LY6, I think.
Yeah, so it's a really nice one, Gen 4.
Yeah.
But I come across deals all the time.
Yeah, keep an eye out. You never know. You could come across a whole donor. We bought whole donors for $1,000. And we have to drive them home in second. And rebuild the transmission. But
we paid $600 for one of them.
For one of them.
Yeah, and it has a 6-liter in it. but it has 400,000.
It rolled over 450,000 on the way here.
Yeah.
But it drove here with no check engine light.
Yeah.
It runs good.
Just all depends.
Yeah. Just keep your eyes peeled. C10 Problem Child says add-ons to get the most horsepower without putting holes in the hood. I don't know.
More horsepower. He's asking about horsepower. I always wonder what people want the horsepower for. They want horsepower because they want to do like quarter mile, or they want horsepower to pull something. It depends on what you want horsepower for. It's two different things. It's all each one of them is kind of specific of what somebody wants with their truck. Like when I think about horsepower, I think like torque, like pulling something, or that's the thing that I like about horsepower. I like to usable. Yeah, I like to pull power. Something. It's like
that was, that's a testament. It depends on the application, and there's so many different applications. We drive ours all the time, RLS swap just as a daily driver. And a lot of people, only drive it, at the strip, or something, or, or they do want to tow something, or whatever your situation is. But that's what, to me, that was what was really cool about Trucks and Tacos. We got to see such a cool assortment, I guess, a great collection of just
different mix.
Yeah, it was a great mix of, very definitely street things, and then very off-road things, and rusty things and shiny things. And so I'm
with
falling behind
uncapped
you.
Burnouts, squealing tires, waking the neighbors.
Yeah, that's what power adders are for.
Yeah. One of our square bodies, I need to fix the exhaust on it. It's so loud. When I fix the exhaust on it, I want to put cutouts on it just so I can still have it be loud and that, because that's a lot of fun. But burnouts and that, especially if you're talking, there aren't any cars that you couldn't take and like what people are putting LSs in them, and you could leave everything in them bone stock, and you could sit there and just melt the tires compared to a small block Chevy versus a LS in it or whatever. That much horsepower and torque gain.
Yeah,
no problem.
Al says heavy trucks need torque. LOL. We've actually, that being said though, we've talked about just putting a stock 5.3 in your 3/4 ton 74. And I mean, that's a big heavy truck, but a 5.3, I mean, how much?
Yeah.
I mean, is that double? Probably double the horsepower on that.
Yeah, look at all the things that I pulled with the small block Chevy, and it's like it did fine. So.
But yeah, I get it though. It's fun to put your foot to the floor sometimes.
I just like being on the interstate, and then like earlier today, there was somebody that thought that they were going to like pull out off to the side and then just take off like a crazy person,
go around you.
Yeah. And then I just lightly tap the accelerator and just pull out ahead of them and
let them
just kind of get the clue that it ain't going to be that cool. So that's the fun I have with them.
Reality check.
Yeah. So many benefits to doing that with an older car.
Yeah. I said it, I think yesterday. I got back from somewhere and it's like, I just love driving the 70. I think I ran to the grocery store or something and came back and I was like, man, I really like driving that thing. And it makes just running errands fun. You get to talk to everybody at a gas station. Love your truck, man. It'd be cool if you painted it.
Yeah, what color are you going to paint it?
Yeah, it'd be a nice truck if you painted it.
Everybody asks that question. Drives me crazy. So, yep, Terrell lightly. That's right. I just tap it lightly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you guys know we drove it to Gulfport, Mississippi last October for Cruising the Coast and Trucks and Tacos. And I mean, it just floated down there and floated back. And I mean, it's driving an older vehicle or an older truck is like, I really love that experience, and to be able to do it every day and not have to, pop the hood every day and make sure it's full of fluids. And
yeah, well, like tonight, I'm not sure if like tonight, like the airbags wouldn't have gone off if I was in something else the way it was.
Yeah.
I
mean, it doesn't take much for airbags to.
I don't know about getting rear-ended.
Rear-ended may be different.
On the front end, I think it's supposed to be a 15-mile-an-hour crash, if I remember right. But on the back, I don't know if it'll do that. I don't even know. Do they even have crash sensors on the back anymore? Or now?
I don't know.
Because I haven't seen them. It's probably just a frontal thing, but
Maybe.
oh well.
Yeah. Brian knows. Brian says, "Truth, get in and go."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We got to hang out with Brian a little bit a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was in town, came by, and we got to hang out and chat and went and got lunch. He brought us some gifts. That's what Jerry was trying to hold up and show earlier.
Yeah.
He brought us you can see it. Take a penny, leave a penny. Love it.
Sit-go though. Sit-go.
Yeah, it's a bunch of sit-go stuff here.
A mug and
it's a little gas station.
Yeah, they're on the.
He brought us some cool stuff, some treasures.
Somebody said something about 373 up there. 373 years. What's that?
Gears probably.
Oh, 373 gears.
Yeah, Mitch says he's got a C20 running an LM7, pulls a 20-foot hauler down I-40 just fine with 373 gears. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. C.R. Smith on my 70 says keep the patina and use some Poppy's wipe on clear coat. I actually bought a buffer and I buffed that truck. I went all in. And then on the way back from Mississippi, we actually overfilled the gas tank a little bit. And so we were going around a corner and I looked kind of over my shoulder and I was like, what is all that? And realized gas was spilling out of the gas tank and removed my wax on one side of the truck. So I had to fix that the other day.
Yeah.
But it has on the yellow part anyway, there is paint.
That was another time I was driving it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, your fault.
I'll do something. I'm not going to drive that truck anymore.
Yeah, that poor truck.
What are we at? An hour and 11 minutes. We better wrap this baby up.
Good grief. I just looked up and saw the time. Yeah, we probably better shut it down. Brian says he got a cool mug himself. Very cool. But we actually have 2 different mugs on the merch store if you guys are interested. I don't have one in front of me, but we have, of course, our Ask Me About My LS swap, and then one that just says UTX. So.
Oh, did you talk about your inside stickers?
I did briefly.
Yeah.
If you missed it, we've had several people mention that they would like a front adhesive sticker, so it goes on the inside of the window. I did get some, so if you are one of those folks and you would like one, send me a comment, send me an email, uglytruckexperience@gmail.com, and I will get some out to you. I'm really excited about them. It feels fancy. It feels like a fancier sticker than just regular stickers for some reason. But yeah, so this has been episode 4 of UTX Unplugged. It has been an eventful day. I think we are going to go maybe make some steaks and recover from today.
Yep.
Recover from Toyotas.
Oh,
but,
yeah, we'll definitely be over 70,000.
Yeah, we're getting real close. Jeff says Father's Day is coming up, and he bought his dad a cool UTX hat and UTX coffee mug. Thank you, Jeff.
And
My goodness.
Douglas, he asked about that.
Yep.
I'll get this 86 up to where we can do some stuff that we haven't done before. We'll get on that, bring some videos off of that, and then we'll throw in a mix of some 4x4 stuff to do that.
Yeah.
And,
so
get back on track a little bit.
Put your wiring hats on and put your 4x4 hats on.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. So all of that being said, thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it as always. And we will see you again the 3rd Thursday of May, which will be the 15th. So we will see you May 15th for the next episode. Do you have anything to say?
Nope. Thank you.
Catch you next time.